Alright folks, here it is, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and I am taking my first real step towards making this dream come true of going native, as it were, on my last blog post. I'm driving down to my property in Botetourt County, and I'm going to take a look around. It's been well over a year since I've been there, so I don't really know what resources are available. I have some ideas, but I kind of want to take a better look, get a good inventory, so I know where my next step is going to be. Okay, here I am down at the property. I'm getting ready to go up into the woods and take a look around. I guess you could say this is my Walden, and I'm really excited to show you guys around. Okay, so here we are. This is the site of my grandparents' old homestead, and this is where I am considering building my shelter. Okay, so this is the old house that my grandparents built, and as you can see, it is pretty much in complete ruination, disrepair. However, the thing that I'm really looking at here is this stack of rocks. This stack of rocks was their chimney, and a lot of it has fallen down, but there are some really big rocks here. That one right there, I don't know if you can see that one right there. It's pretty giant. There are a lot of other smaller ones that I can use, because one of the things I was thinking about is that there's going to need to be a way to heat this shelter. So originally I had been thinking about doing a wigwam type of deal or a longhouse, something like that. But the more I think about it, the more I think I'm going to use these rocks to build a fireplace, a small fireplace and chimney, not nearly as big as the one they had there. And then maybe build a log cabin. Not too big, doesn't need to be that big. Big enough for me and another person. But this is sort of the clearing here in front of the old house. And I think there's plenty of space for me to put something up. Might clear this area right over here in between these walnuts and build it right over there. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a stream not too far over that way, and there is a spring over there. I'll go show you the spring here in a second. So the spring is right over here. I don't know if you can see it because there's this big willow tree down in the way, and I can't get over to it right now. But the spring is right back there. It's a freshwater spring. My grandparents used it for their water supply for years and years and years. And freshwater source right there, really close to where I am thinking of building the shelter. Okay, so this is a surprise since I haven't been down here in so long. This is the road that I normally use to get up over to the next ridge, and this is a wet weather stream. Most of the time that I've been here, there has been no water in it. It has been a very wet year, and I'm not even sure I can get across this right now. So I have to walk around and see if I can find a crossing spot. Okay, so I managed to find a spot to cross the creek without getting myself too wet. But this is the old road that we would use to get up in here onto the ridge. And I'm gonna walk up here and check out my dad's gravesite just to see what it looks like up here. You can see this hill, it has been cut over. It's been 7 years since I had some areas cut. So there's a lot of undergrowth, a lot of stuff growing back up. But there also should be plenty of smaller trees left that I can find and use and drag down for logs. So let's see what else we can find up here. Before my father passed away, he told me that he wanted to be buried here on this piece of property, and he actually knew exactly where he wanted to be buried, which is right there. So this is my father's headstone. I carved it myself. I figured he would appreciate that. But this was his favorite spot on the entire property. He spent a lot of time hunting here. Look at his favorite hunting spot. It's been a long time since anyone has hunted in here. But as you can see, it was a log and plywood structure. There's a stovepipe sticking out the end with some windows that he could slide back. And if we take a look inside, there are the remnants of bus seats. That's where we sat. And the wood stove I took out and gave to my brother so that he could use it. I had considered getting a wood stove to use for my little shelter, but that seems too easy. So I kind of want to do this as primitively as I possibly can. Well, maybe not as possibly can. I do plan on using hand tools, axes and saws and that sort of thing. But no gas power. I've been spotted. Okay, so I'm back at the old house. I've just spent the last hour traipsing up and down the main ridge that goes up through the center of the property, checking things out and looking to see what might be available to use for construction materials. And I have two concerns right now. The first is really going to impact my ability to build a log house, as it were, or a log cabin, because I do not see very many pine trees of an appropriate size. Plenty of hardwoods back up here, plenty of oaks and hickories and, lots of other hardwoods, but they don't do so well, from what I've read, when it comes to being used for log structures. Pine fares much better if you peel the logs and let them season. So that's what I was looking for. Didn't find any, or at least not very many. Not nearly enough to build what I'm thinking about. There are, however, plenty of saplings. So I may have to go back to my original idea of doing a longhouse or wigwam, a type of structure that the early Indians used. That presents some other problems and challenges of its own. So I'm going to have to do some more thinking, but it's good to know what I have available and what's here. Now, there are some areas that I wasn't able to get to that I'll need to do some more exploring of later. Might be able to find some things that I didn't see, but I'm pretty much out of time at the moment. So I'm going to head on back to the car and head home and get back to thinking. It is good to know that I have all of these rocks here. I mean, hey, and there's plenty of rocks. Lots and lots and lots of rocks. So if push comes to shove, maybe I'll just build a rock house. Who knows?